What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This clip from the most recent Trump and Vance rally is absolutely breaking the internet. This woman, Michaelah Montgomery, otherwise known as the Chick-fil-A girl, delivered a speech at the Georgia Trump Vance rally, and we're going to jump right into it here. Shout out to everybody on the live stream, and then shout out to everybody on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, let me know where you're coming from, like, subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Truly appreciate each and every single one of you. Really do. I really do. We're going to jump into this real quick. Here is Michaelah Montgomery at the Trump rally.
See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job. Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth. See, a few weeks ago...
Shout out to her. Now, this isn't necessarily the main clip that I wanted to share with you, but I just wanted to give you a brief introduction to who she is. So she is the Chick-fil-A girl when Donald Trump went to Atlanta. And she says this. Shout out to her, man. She delivered a really good speech first time out. Here we go.
Getting your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. Getting your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families?
Let's jump that again. Hold on.
Cares about black families. From her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Kamala Harris cares as a prosecutor. Why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her. A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities.
Shout out to her. Coming in hot, man. What do you guys think about that? So if you're not familiar with Kamala Harris's past, Kamala Harris's ex-partner Willie Brown, this is going to be a show, man. Politics are a show. Ex-partner Willie Brown says he has secret photos of Kamala. I don't know. And he said that he's going to release them. I'm not sure. But Trump's scheduled to speak here probably I think he's already speaking right now. But let's jump into this. This is a report from CNN. I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on this too.
Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Well, hold on, wait, first, Ray, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh, is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow, is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I heard she's half black and half Asian.
When I played that audio on my SiriusXM radio program on Thursday, many callers who self-identified as African-American were quick to tell me that those men were the exception, not the rule. Some described them as low-information voters, no different than you'd find among whites.
Why they got to do that? Why do they have to make it seem like those individuals aren't as educated of some capacity? Those guys are not. What did he say? What did this dude say?
Them as low information voters. No,
low information voters. What are you implying here? That they're not as educated as other folks? They're just
no different than you'd find among whites.
Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Well, hold on, wait, first, Ray, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh, is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow, is Kamala Black, yes or no?
I heard she's half black and half Asian.
When I played that audio on my SiriusXM radio program on Thursday, many callers who self-identified as African-American were quick to tell me that those
self-identify as African-American
men were the exception, not the rule. Some described them as low information voters, no different than you'd find among whites.
Dude, that bothers the crap out of me. Why would you even, why would that even be an emphasis? What do you guys think? To me, like, that shouldn't even be an emphasis. I'm going to jump into this interview from The Art of Dialogue with Joe Brown.
How you feel about Trump calling Kamala Harris above?
She is. She's one of those career prosecutors that suffers from character deficits. She's one of these people that has absolutely no connection with what the hell was going on. She wasn't a student at a time when there were opportunities, but she could have made some to go out and made a difference in her community that she claims, but she didn't. And her claim is a false one. So I don't appreciate her taking advantage of the situation. I think it is unfair to the people who she is making a false claim of identity with. And it also is not fair to the people she ought to be identifying with. See, we have a lot of Indians that have immigrated into the United States. They're fine people, but they've got one big problem, that is the transplantation of untouchability into America. That's the caste system. You may have somebody that's a multimillionaire that owns the company and the office building, and if he comes from the untouchable caste and somebody who's Indian does not, brushes up against the boss coming out of a conference, they have to go through a purification ritual. That kind of nonsense needs to have no place in the United States of America. So she's a Hindu, but yet she has done absolutely nothing to better the condition of the many Hindu or Sikh or other people from India, the Tamil Brahmin caste, whatever. She's done absolutely nothing to make their condition better here in the United States except to grin about it. So she's not doing anything for us. She was essentially in California the #1 enemy for young black folk. So what has she done? And why should I emulate her or support her when on an objective basis, and I took a checklist, how many people did you help out? How many people did you condemn when you had the opportunity to deliver justice and equity? How many did you do? How many did you do the opposite with? Got a whole lot. Oh, man. How many people on a certain side did you help exploit people? All of these folk that got jacked up with those crooked mortgages, who lost their homes. You didn't do a damn thing to help them out. You helped out the fat cats who were ripping them off, Soros and Mnuchin. You didn't help out my 3 neighbors who were losing their property. You didn't help out the other people who were in jeopardy of losing their property or got caught up in a trick bag that other counties should return 5,200 indictment counts trying to protect them. You dismissed them, so somebody that's raising money for your political ambitions gets to sell the company for $4.2 billion. I could go on. I'll give you another illustration. It's kind of funny. What do they call somebody black mixed with somebody white?
Black.
Yeah. If somebody is black mixed with somebody that's Chinese, what do they call them?
Black.
Somebody's mixed with somebody that's Indian, what do they call them? Meaning Hindu type Indian.
They call them black.
But her people acknowledge she's a Hindu. So how do you beat the rule if you have the rule applied to you? That's because she's not. She's a fake. So what are you protecting? See, that's the question. And I'm not dissing AKAs. My own mother was an AKA. She pledged 1934. She's ivy behind the wall. She's been dead for a while. Loyal AKA for years, decades. I'm not bad-mouthing them, but I got a license to make a comment about it. It's like, you see, when somebody's down and has a poor or negative self-concept or perception, they'll seize on anything to make themselves look better. You can even take connection. Look at what was happening in Germany in the 1920s and
What do you guys think of what Joe Brown has to say? I'm going to jump into this. This is another clip from that same interview.
And I want to backtrack to a comment you made earlier about the casting couch. So that's true? Like, because I always heard this rumor that she slept her way to the top. That's true?
She did. She's old. She's 60 years old.
She's old.
Look, if you want to find out about it, go online to the LA Times morgue. They used to have it so for a fee, you could get them to pull articles. They've been reporting on her for 30-some years. She's in her 20s, and Willie Brown took her up as his mistress. There was a medical firm that dealt with San Francisco. He got her a 15-hour-a-week part-time job there, which she never showed up to, according to the Times, but they paid her $72,000 a year for 15 hours a week. And understand, she's in her 20s, which is 30-some years ago. That's big money now. So he got her promoted up. So she did 20 hours a week. Times reported she never showed up, but she got 120 grand a year. So he bought her a 750i BMW, which was the top of the line at the time. So he set her up with all of the connections to get her into politics. The Times did a thing about this thing she had allegedly with an NBA player to get a job with a big law firm, and then a thing they did on her with the assistant director for the district attorney's office to get on with them, and then Montel Williams, and then back to Willie Brown, and then the rest of the whole thing, and she winds up with a Hollywood lawyer type not long before she runs for senator. So, and she adopts his children. She doesn't have any of her own, not saying it's a requirement, but it sure as hell helps, because I think the only two presidents of significance that didn't have children officially, George Washington and Andrew Jackson. And Andrew Jackson was a homicidal maniac. George Washington had enough by the slaves before he got sterile by disease. And the other three out of the five known ones, they weren't too good. They were has-been, never was type. So I say that I know what I thought when I was a young man. Such things didn't make differences, but then I'd never had to be a parent. You never had to get up sick and go to work when you didn't feel like it, because you had the bills to pay. You never had to be reliable when you had other things to do.
True.
And having this legacy that you have to pass on, and not wanting to do anything that shames your grandchildren, because they do in fact exist and it's not hypothetical, that gives you a different perspective. So it's not an absolute requirement, but I think you really don't know how to have the dedication to the job if you have nothing to survive you. No immediate cause. Not saying that somebody can't be a good president without, but it's just what's your stake in it.
Absolutely.
You want to leave
I agree
a
with
better America for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren,
or are you just doing it for
nobody out
self-indulgence?
there that you have an immediate selfish interest in?
Yep.
Yeah, and she used to date Montel Williams, right?
Yeah, Willie Brown's too. She showed up here at a mayor's conference in Memphis some years ago. I spoke at the damn thing. She showed up here. She was with Willie Brown. She got mad at her sister, this black judge here, because she just went over to speak with him. She jumped up, don't even look at him, leave him alone. The judge told her, ain't my type, don't worry about it. You know, I'm just trying to meet him. So, and I know, I mean, allegations, I wasn't there, but I've had at least two women that I've known who are married women, and they tell me essentially they almost slapped their husbands back when they were at Howard at a certain frat where somebody did a lot of second floor action, and they were angling on getting some, and it wasn't going to happen. You know, so you get this. Like I said, I'm not holding it against somebody because they did it for recreation, but, you know, when you do the casting couch thing, that's a bad move. I know some women in Hollywood that did the casting couch and those who refused. The ones that got refused went further than the ones who did. The ones who did ramped up real quickly, but then they're a piece of ass. Everybody knows it, so they get passed around. And then, did it really have talent, or was it just they jump-started their careers and then the lack of talent shows? Or did you have talent and do it the hard way? See, I mean, I hate to say it, but now, the other thing is I don't see any case law she made as an attorney or running the district attorney's office in a large city. I don't see in private practice pro bono when she, early years before she got into prosecuting, that made a difference. I don't see any innovation in law that she's responsible for. I don't see any reform of criminal justice that she could have done a whole lot about. I don't see any of that. So what did she do? I just see a long laundry list, page after page of wrong. So I'm not one of these people that is a fan of promoting somebody upstairs.
Yeah, that's real talk. And that's crazy, man, because I never heard that story before. So she tried to check a female because she thought she was trying to talk to her husband?
Yeah, I mean, and the woman was the judge she was talking to. I was there when that happened. It's like, dude, damn, who is that? I didn't know who she was, you know, I mean, but.
Do you think she like black men?
No, I don't think she does. No, she doesn't. I mean, look at it. Most of these women that she locked up for the truancy problems were black women. Damn near everybody she was getting these horribly stiff sentences to as recommendations, they were young black men. What wound up happening, all of these people she withheld information on that could have exculpated them so they wouldn't have been found guilty, they were black men. She was particularly harsh in the way black men got treated when they came through the system that she had prosecutorial preeminence in. You see, she set up no programs to come up with work alternatives. She set up no programs to deal with rehabilitation. She set up no programs to deal with counseling. She set up no programs to offer alternatives to criminality. She just came down hard. And it's like, what did you get from her? You must have had a white client. Yeah, I did. Well, what do your black clients get? Not the same thing as the white ones. And you had enough black attorneys who had white clients to know the difference.
What do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. I was reading that, yes, in fact, she did have harsh sentences for particularly black individuals who had smaller crimes. And these harsh sentences, some of the evidence was held back in order to keep them in prison for longer periods of time. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on the Georgia Trump rally from the Chick-fil-A girl. Yeah, shout out. Thank you everybody for watching. Drop your comments down below, hit the like, subscribe. Other than that, guys, I will catch you on the next one.